Hello there guys. Yesterday I did like a first look video of this game. This is Trains. No it's not, it's Tracks. It's called Tracks, the train set game. It's called something like that anyway. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was when I looked at it yesterday. There's a couple of features that I hadn't seen. Some of them are really quite cool, like you can put some bells on the track and when your train goes past it plays a little tune. So you can say what note you want the bell to be. Now I tried to do a tune on here, which I'll show you in a bit, but I was a little bit limited because there's only 2 octaves and I needed a note lower than I could go, so I had to cut the tune a little bit short. You can also do things like decorate your train. You can have checker patterns or lines on it, and you can actually age it so some of the paint has worn off, which is what I've done. That looks really nice. You can put little lights on your houses. I've put some on the left there on the TV, and there's all sorts of things you can decorate your environment with. I've gone here for this lounge setting, so there's kind of like a lounge, a bedroom, or completely open. So I thought it'd look pretty cool if I did this. Now the game mode I'm in is just free play, where I can build whatever I want, but there's another game mode as well called Passenger, where there's little groups of passengers appear around the room and you've got to get them to their destination. So you've got to put down like a little platform for them to get on. You've got to put the train near them and slow it down and stop it. They'll get on and then you carry on. So it's kind of cool really. There's a lot of little features in here that I missed on my first look yesterday. You can also steer your train, which means if you're coming up to some points and there is the option of going one way or another, you can kind of decide which way you're going to go whilst you're driving your train. If you are just kind of like on autopilot and your train is just going around the track by itself, then you can hover over your points and decide which way you want the train to go by default. So this is a track that I've just spent probably about the last 2 hours making. This is my first try at doing something on here. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't used at all yet, which would make this a hell of a lot better. But I'm quite pleased with it, so I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a tour, and then we will set off my train and you'll see what it does. So, very quickly, while I'm here, look, there's some points just here. That's the way it's going to go. It's going to go into the tunnel. Now, if I did this, it would go straight on instead. So you can see how you can change those and make it go a different way, or whilst you're actually riding the train, if I was coming up along this piece here towards that, I could push right to go into the tunnel or leave it and it would just go straight on towards the fairground. So we start here in my station with Katumi 74. You can see I've opted to colour my train in stripes of pink and blue, and I've gone for kind of an aged look where a lot of the paint is rubbed off, which I think looks really cool. So this is a station. We've got some business people here on the sofa waiting to go to the station. My train is going to begin its journey in this direction where we will come to our farm. Now none of this stuff moves or does anything, it just looks really cool. So we'll come through here past the farm. We'll go along here, we'll go down this spiral past the hot air balloon. Now those little things down there, they are boosters and they're going to give my train enough speed to jump over this gap. So as it passes the lake, you will see that I've put a little car in the lake that's crashed. We have some scuba divers here looking for the person that crashed in the lake, and we have some paramedics and some police on standby and a crane to get the car out. So it's nice to make up little stories. It's like, I tell you, as I've been making this, I've actually felt like a little child playing with a train set. Now I didn't have a train set as a kid. My friend Kevin did, but it wasn't like this at all. It was like a realistic Hornby train set up in his loft that went round in a big circle, and it was actually quite incredible. It got like lots of little tiny trees there and little people on the stations and things. His dad had built it for him, and it was massive. It completely consumed the loft. When you got up into the loft, you went up in the very centre, and this was all around you, and the trains went through tunnels and all sorts. It was really impressive. But how his dad would have felt when he built all that is kind of how I felt for the past hour, maybe 2 hours while I've been making this. So let's continue. We jump over the bridge And then we drop down onto this bit of track here. There's some workmen here trying to fix this piece of track, but obviously they haven't finished it in time. We're going to come along here towards the fairground, but we're not going to the fair, we're going into the tunnel, and that kind of teleports us to the exit tunnel here. So we're going to come out of here, we'll come along, we'll pass these little bells, which will play a tune as we drive past them, and as I said, you can set the note that you want each bell to play. You can also move them a different distance apart, and you can make your train go faster with boosters. So you can, it's quite good, but there are only 2 octaves, so you are limited on what you can get it to play. We'll then, excuse me, we'll continue along up the spiral, we'll go past the lighthouse, we'll play another little tune as we come around here, then we'll come past the television, which is where I've decided to put my little town. Now these little lights, they're not on those shops, you can just put them on if you want to, so I opted to. I suppose this is going to look really good if you play one in the environments that are in the dark, but I'm in the light. I'll go around the back of the TV, then I'll come down here. I'll go in the TV cabinet and through my little tunnel of lights in there, which I thought looked pretty cool. And then I'll come along here, past the signal box and the railway workmen. Down here, I'm not going to go straight on, I'm going to go round to the right, but if I did go straight on, I'd go to the wedding station, where people are currently getting married, and then I'll come along here, past the campers, with their little campfire, and then up the spiral and back to the beginning, and then it's just going to go round on a circle. So that's my track. It's taken me a couple of hours to build, but let's get into it. So we need to get into our train. We've got controls here. I'm gonna push it to about half speed. So when the red line gets to about the middle, and then rather than driving the train, I'm then going to just watch it go around the train track. So we get to enjoy the train going around the track. So it goes through this little train kind of shed. Building these tracks is a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than actually doing this bit. Now we're going to jump. If you don't have enough speed, you won't make it. There we go. There's a tribute to the Beatles as we come across the bridge. And then we're going to come up the top where we play the next part of the tune. And it started to slow down, so I needed a booster halfway through. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the next part of the tune because we didn't have notes low enough. Right, we've lit our fireworks, which are now going to be set off up there. And our train continues on its journey. We'll jump into it, and it was a little bit too slow, but you'll see us going through the tunnel there if we had jumped into that a little bit sooner. And now coming around the final section, and then we spiral back under the bridge that we jumped over earlier, back to the beginning. Wasn't that fun? Oh my goodness. Right, I could waste a huge amount of time in here. Unfortunately, the fireworks don't reset. You have to put them down again, or you can save and then load. But yeah, unfortunately, my fireworks have now gone. Let's watch the jump this time. Let's get ourselves in a good position for the jump. I should have put the fireworks just as I jumped over. But it only just makes it. With one of those boosters missing, it doesn't make the jump. How cool is that? Oh, it is so much fun, it really is. Now, there is loads and loads of extra stuff you can do besides what I've done here. You can put down roads and things. We should let it play through. There isn't really a lot more interactive stuff. There's the bells, the boosters, the fireworks. Let's have a little look what more there is on the interactions. Completely forgot to tell you about these. If you drive slowly through one of the collection points and you have a carriage on the back of your train, it will drop marbles into the back of your train. And then if you drive slowly through the deposit, the deposit has a magnet underneath it, and that takes the marbles back out. And you can pop one of these speed checks in just to make sure that you are going slow enough. Now you can also put down some boxes and then crash through them and they fall over. You can knock over Jenga, and then we have various different types of fireworks, and you've seen the music notes and the boosters already. But I've not used things like the turntable. I haven't used any of the terrain. You can put down blocks of water, a mountain. It does respond to some of these signs. I put down this one and it stopped, so they do something as well. You have various different groups of people that you can use, various vehicles. Animals, I used a few of those, but I didn't use much of this stuff at all. And as you've seen, we have various different buildings that you can use as well. So it's a lot of fun. There's quite a lot of stuff in here that you can play with. And this room is actually quite a bit bigger than I've used. You can go all the way around here as well. You can go up there on the speakers or the cupboards on the wall. So I've only used quite a small section to build this. But it did take me a while. It'd take me a couple of hours. And I'm quite pleased with it as my first go. But I think what I might do is build some more, do kind of zones with their own theme tune as it goes round the zones, and you know, incorporate some roads into it as well, and the vehicles and things, and see what I can come up with. But there you go. This is Tracks. What's it called? Let's have a look. Tracks, the train set game. And I'm quite impressed with it. I think it's pretty damn cool. But it did inspire me yesterday to get on Railway Empire. I kept calling it Railway Tycoon in my video yesterday, but it's not. It's called Railway Empire. But yeah, I got back on there and had a go on that. Those trains look incredibly realistic. It's not just a wooden child's track, and it's a lot of fun. But this has its own charm, as I'm sure you'll agree. Now, as I said before, I did not have a train set like this as a child, or any other train set. I had model aeroplanes. That's what I had as a child, which were pretty cool. But if you did have a train set as a child, then I'm sure that this is extremely nostalgic for you. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. I've got to let it play this. There we go. See you next time. Bye bye.